Alright guys, it's November 8th. This is lesson 49 for our 6th grade math class. And we're talking about dividing by a decimal number. No, we're not going to turn the lights off today. Listen, I'm going to show you what we're doing and then I'll go back and explain to you why it is we're doing it that way or how we do it that way. But the bottom line is this. When we take a number, let me change my color here. We take a number like 0.4 and we're going to divide that into a number like 1.24. And we're going to do a problem like that. What you have to know, what you have to remember to do is simply this. We're going to take the decimal. This is the divisor, by the way, right? This is a divisor. This is the dividend. And up here is going to be the quotient. Okay? But we take the divisor and we make it a whole number. Okay, we move the decimal place over until it's a whole number, which in this case, if we move this decimal over, it's going to wind up coming over here, isn't it? Okay, so it's going to become 4. How many places did I move the decimal? Yes, well, Mason. I moved it over one place. So if I move it over one place there, to keep all this equal in my problem, I have to move it over one place here also, okay? So I'm going to take it from right there to where it was to over here. Does everybody see that? All right. Let me erase my Q because we know that's where the quotient goes. We're okay with that. And now let's do the math. We don't really do this 4 anymore either, do we? Or the 0 rather, do we? 0.4 point is kind of senseless once we move the decimal over. So we wind up with 4 divided by 12.4. The very first thing, does anybody remember the very first thing we do when we're working with division problems and decimals? Ben? You move the decimal up. That is exactly right. It goes right above, right in the quotient area. It goes right there. We move it straight up. We don't have to count places or anything like that. We just move it right up. And now we do our division. 12 divided by 4 is 3. That gives us 12. Gives us a 0. Okay, we can't put 0 into 4 obviously, so we got to bring down the 4. 4 goes into 4 one time. Gives us 4. We have no remainder, so we're good to go. So our answer here is 3.1. 4 divided into 12.4 is 3.1. And we can check that answer by taking 3.1, multiplying it by 4. And sure enough, what do we get? 12.4. Because now when I multiply, I have to count my decimal places to see where my decimal goes, right? And I have one decimal place here, so I have to move it over one place, and I get 12.4, which matches my dividend that I had over here. So my product matches my dividend. That's how I check my answer. Now, let me tell you what happened with that problem. We had 0.4 divided by 1.21, or was it 1.24? 1.24. All right, guys. Do you remember when we had a fraction? Let's say we had a fraction 3/8, and we wanted to find an equivalent fraction to 3/8. Remember what we did was we multiplied it by the same number by 2 over 2. That gave us 6. No, so yeah, right. Hello. 3 times 2 is 6. My bad. Hold on. A little brain cramp here. I was gonna square it. That's right. 3 times 2 is 6, and 8 times 2 is 16. Okay, so the question is there an equality between 3/8 and 6/16? There is, isn't there? So 3/8 is the same thing as 6/16, correct? Because I can reduce this down to what? I can reduce it down to 3/8. So by multiplying it by a number that has a value of 1, which 2 over 2 does, I can change my fraction, but still have the same quality. It still has the same value, right? Well, I'm doing the same thing with this division problem. We don't want to divide with decimal places. It's very confusing unless you have a calculator, which we don't use. So the way that we do this, guys, is we simply multiply both of these numbers by 10. We multiply both of these numbers by 10. So if you take 0.4 times 10, you wind up with 4, right? You think? Let's see, 0.4, 10 times 0.4, 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 1 is 4. Got to move it over one decimal place. Yep, gives me 4, right? And then if we multiply 1.24 times 10, it gives us 12.4, doesn't it? Y'all understand? You need to see that, or do you understand it? Anybody want to see it? Clearly understood. Okay. So that takes us to this problem, 4 divided by 12.4, which is what we had right up here, well, on the other page. And once again, 4 goes into 12 3 times, gives us 12. We bring our decimal up there. First thing, I almost forgot. We have 0. I got to bring our 4 down. 4 goes into 4 one time. We have 3.1. So that confirms our answer. Does everybody understand that all we're doing is moving the decimal place over one spot in that case, in that particular problem? Okay, and you understand that we're multiplying both numbers by 10, or whatever number we have to multiply it by. We had to move it over one place, so that kind of worked out, right? You may have to multiply it by 100. And you guys understand this, right? When we're multiplying a number by a number, is that making the number bigger or smaller? Is that making the number bigger or smaller? Yes. When we multiply. When we're dividing, like look at this problem right here, guys. When we're I know it's time to go, right? Because we're on the schedule. When we're dividing, as we are here, our answer is going to be smaller than what we started with, isn't it? Because we ended up with 3.1. Remember, 3.1 is smaller than 12.4. When we multiply, the numbers get bigger, right? Think about when rabbits multiply. You ever heard the term they multiply like rabbits? Right? Rabbits multiply. You have 2 rabbits, then you have 6. Then you have 36. And then, you know, they hang out together and go to the bunny bar. And then before you know it, you have 72. You have all these rabbits, right? They multiply, right? That's what's happening. But when you divide, you have you get a smaller number, don't you? Right? You understand that? Are we okay with this? Hey, the last problem we have to do very quickly. I know we just ran out of class time here, but let me do this very quickly. We have 0.6 point divided by 14.4. I'm sorry, that's not correct. I'm trying to hurry. 0.6 divided by 1.44. That's our problem. Listen, guys, we move it over one place to the right. We move it over one place to the right, right? And we end up with 6 divided by 14.4. Now look at in here, this doesn't have to be a whole number. The divisor does. So now we put 6 into 14, we get 2, right? Gives us 12, we have a 2. Bring down our 4, 6 goes into 24 4 times. Our answer is 2.4. Everybody see that? All right, get out of here. Have a great day, guys. See you tomorrow.